Welcome to the Koso Konnections podcast, where the ancient art of Japanese fermentation science meets modern natural health. Embark with us on a journey of transformation, exploring age-old wellness practices through inspiring discussions, expert advice, and personal stories. Discover how these traditions can revolutionize your health and well-being today.
Welcome to Koso Konnections. Hello everyone, I'm your host Huxley. Today's episode is all about how we can boost longevity, improve energy, and enhance overall wellness through the power of fermentation. We're focusing on Koso Super Drink, a product that's changing the way we think about nutrition and wellness thanks to its unique fermentation process. We've got our special guest here, Dr. Z, to break down the science behind Koso Super Drink, and also other special guests who will share how this drink has transformed their health.
Welcome everyone. In Japanese, we would say konnichiwa, yokoso. It just basically means welcome and how are you? I'm really delighted to meet everybody, and I'm looking forward to explaining some of the basic natures of fermentation. Fermentation is the preservation. And in the world that we live in right now, preservatives are a big problem. Preservatives are really something that are really hurting us. Fermentation is natural preservation.
So we've heard about fermentation a lot lately, and it seems like Koso Super Drink has taken it to another level. That's by understanding what really happened behind the scene and why fermentation plays such a big role in this product.
There's a lot of things that go on with fermentation. First thing to remember is that fermentation is preservation. The second thing is fermentation is helping you to absorb the nutrients. And you'll say, well, what do you mean by that? Basically speaking, when you eat an apple, 5% is absorbed by your body. Why would that be? It's too large. Too many solids. It takes too long for your body to absorb that. Think of it like a baby. Why would you feed a baby a steak? You would feed it something called baby food. Why? Because it's broken down. It's easy for that baby to digest. Well, people are the same way. What's happening today is that we're not even digesting we're swallowing our food. There's not enough time for us to really absorb all the nutrients. The third thing, which is really quite important when you're talking about fermentation, fermentation actually helps you, in a way because it has probiotics, it has enzymes. And here's the key word, live. And let me just rephrase that. When you go buy yogurts at the store and you're thinking, oh, it's got probiotics, it's great. Yes, but that was before it was cooked, When it's cooked, what do you have? You have dead probiotic. When you preserve things with fermentation, you're not using heat. It's live. You're keeping it all alive. Our products are very unique in the way that they work is because it's alive. When you fumigate it, meaning that you use gases and all kinds of things to make the product at high heat, there's nothing left. When you go to the stores today, what do you see? You see processed foods. What does processed foods mean? It means you can't read the label. Try to find some of these ingredients, XPR, SSS, it's unknown. But yet, we are trying to digest that. We're using that because we think we know what we're doing. Actually, if you can't read it, stay away from it.
Well, that's really fascinating, and thank you for the insights. And so we've got some special guests here today, and they will be able to share the benefits of taking the Koso Super Drink. Let's hear from them. So we have Karen and Jennifer from Arizona. We have Sierra from Nevada, right? And then we also have Gina from California. And of course, our handsome guy Tanner here from North Carolina. Karen, would you like to share, how did your body respond to the Koso Super Drink when you first take it?
Yeah, good question. So I've been taking the Koso Super Drink since the spring, and now it's the fall. And I would say a lot of things have been happening to me and my body, but specifically, I would say the greatest difference for me specifically is energy. I am 33 years old and I could not get through the day without taking a nap. 100% before noon, I could not make it. And now my naps are pleasure only. I can get through a day without sleeping, which is crazy for me.
Dr. Z, can you tell us why that's happening to Karen? She's young. Why is she so tired all the time?
I met Karen 3 months ago. I can tell you I was not overly impressed. There was a real lack of energy. There was a real lack of focus. But there was something very special about, and I could see that probably in her youthful days, there was a different person. And a lot of that had been turned off. Now you're going to say, what does that mean? We are basically light switches. Our body absorbs things through food, and a lot of that tends to turn off certain switches. And as we age, those switches get turned off, and we get a little bit lazier, our liver doesn't work as well, we don't sleep as well. And with our product, the live product, the product that's alive, the bacteria that are alive, all that stuff that's good for you, the nutrition that can be absorbed, slowly those switches are turned back on. And what happens when you turn on a switch that's been turned off? To Karen. And she's becoming really energetic, full of stamina. I met her last month, and I thought to myself, this is the new Karen.
Well, that's awesome. Gina, did you see some difference like when you first take the Koso Super Drink?
Absolutely. I started drinking Koso Super Drink a couple of months ago, and right away, I would say within a week, I've struggled with digestive issues for as long as I could remember, and within a week, I noticed a huge difference. Everything changed. I felt more energy. I couldn't believe, actually, the way that I felt, and looking back, I thought, how could I not have known how abnormal things were? Now being able to digest properly, it's night and day.
I'm so glad to hear that. I just want Dr. Z to go deeper and explain why that happened.
Our body is full of bacteria. We're walking bacteria. Your friendly bacteria, which would be probably 60 to 70%. And then you would have bad bacteria, which we all have, would be 30, 40%. That's the way we are developed as human beings. In most cases, there can be even a further balance. It could be 80-20, 90-10. As your bad bacteria takes over your good bacteria, in our products, we are using good bacteria to do fermentation. Those good bacteria don't disappear. Remember, the products are alive. They will continue to be in the products as those products enter your body. The nutrition and the good bacteria, guess what's happening? The first thing they're going to do is go after your bad bacteria, because that's what good and bad bacteria do. They fight. It's a war. The replenishing of your good bacteria is important. This is the new longevity health talk. If you are not replenished with good bacteria, you remember probiotics? Remember what I said? Probiotic, is it alive? Yeah, you be the judge of it. If you're cooking it, pasteurizing it, I don't know, all those things that you're doing, it can't possibly be alive. But our bacteria are alive. And if you ever put the little pills outside on your table, they start growing. The moment they start growing is because they have moisture and they have warmth. And that's the human body, right? We need moisture and we need warmth. And so that is the key to your success, is being able to digest something that replenishes your good bacteria, helping you to get rid of your bad bacteria, and at the same time, nourishing your body. This is nothing new. This is something that has been in Japan for a long time. Koso is not new. It's something that's been there for a very, very long time. Remember, Japan is a blue zone. What that means is that it has more people 100 years of age plus.
Well, that's great. Well, I can see Tanner, it's like looking so eager to share what he...
Well, yeah, no.
Well, Tanner, are you ready to share?
Yeah, of course, always. No, I was, as Dr. Z was speaking, I was thinking, like, for me, I'm a little crazy and I like to dance and play basketball. And as I'm getting older, I noticed that, like, my body, either by the end of the day or the next morning, is extremely sore. And since taking the drink about a month ago, I've been noticing that my body seems to be recovering better, kind of healing itself faster. I was at a wedding. My sister got married and she's Samoan, so all the Samoans were all dancing. We were having a party. And after taking the drink, I felt like my body was able to recover faster than it normally would. And I don't know, doctors, is that because of the fermentation, or is that more of like just what's in it, or what creates that?
Well, protein is the building block of the body. I mean, the key to protein is whether or not you can absorb the protein. Protein is made by your body. It's not made because you eat protein. So if you're eating protein that's overly processed, but most of the proteins, when you look at the labels, where is the protein? I'm sorry to say
Towards
that.
the bottom.
The bottom. So what you're getting is a bunch of over-the-counter products, synthetics, chemicals that are designed to supercharge your hormone. Think of it like sterols. Sterols would be something that are legal, that you could take, and they supercharge your body. However, they might not work after the 5th or 6th or 7th time. That's what most people are taking. Fact check it. You can see it yourself. Okay. Our product, you're taking fermented protein. Again, what does that mean? You can absorb the protein. So if you're taking a scoop of protein and you're only getting 1% absorption, no wonder you see the containers getting bigger and bigger. In our ingredients, you look at it, the proteins. the food. It's all there. It's made so that at least you can get 90%, if not more, depending on your body's usage. You can absorb all of those nutrients. It takes a long time to make. Yes, absolutely. Can you make it in a day? No, it takes up to a year to make it, but the results are significant. So when you take the product, Tanner, and you're dancing there, doing whatever moves that you're doing, and I'm not going to get into that. That's your own private life, okay? But when you're doing all of that, you're breaking down your muscles. And so to rebuild your muscles, you need protein. This is what bodybuilders do all the time, Tanner. They go in, they build, they work out, and then they go in, they get the big protein, and they go, oh, I feel much better. Actually, it's not protein that they're feeling. It's another ingredient. But with your case, all those fibers that you're breaking, all of those things that you're doing while you're moving around, you need to replenish it. Our body's like that. That's why we go to sleep every day, so that our body has an opportunity to replenish. But with other products, when you have that rest time, what's being replenished? If you're feeding yourself zero, what are you getting in return? Zero.
Doing those activities, I'm able to. The drink has helped me to not have to wait for my sleep. I don't have to wait to sleep to get recovery. I can do those things and feel more energized without having to have that full rest.
Well, it's true. Yeah, it's true, Tanner. But keep in mind that sleep is your medicine, and
Sure.
if you're not feeding your body while you're asleep, and it's always important when you get up in the morning to feed your body, but think about the precious time that you're not rebuilding your body is when you're asleep. And so what are we doing? We're just laying there. Well, wouldn't it be nice to have all those ingredients, all those nutrients, all those enzymes, all of those things working overtime for you while you're asleep, so that when you get up in the morning, your hair growth, your nail growth, all of those things that, believe me, people are not getting today. It's impossible.
If I'm not wrong, the U.S. is one of the highest per GDP of spending money on health and wellness over all the countries that run the studies. And we spend the most and we die the youngest, versus Japan, if I'm not mistaken, almost spends the least and people live the longest. So there's something there. I know Sierra. I know Sierra knows all about that.
You're absolutely right.
I got to chime in too on that one, because I'm a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at age 39. Only 5% of women are diagnosed under the age of 40. But guess what? We have all of these millions of dollars going into breast cancer research and breast cancer foundations year after year. And we've been doing it for decades. We're pouring money into breast cancer research. And guess what? The number is higher today. We are diagnosing more women, younger women in their 30s and early 40s with breast cancer every year. Why is that number rising? Yeah, with all of the money going into research.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
I would like you to know my philosophy, because it's actually the company's philosophy as well, too. And I learned this. Remember, I'm not the founder of the company. I learned from a genius, and he was not a college graduate. He was just a hard worker in a small village and worked really hard and understood things well beyond his time. But what I can tell you from my experience in farming, because we are farmers, is that the food is poisoning, and it's a reality. When you look at the way things are grown all over the world, okay? When you look at the way things have to be managed, the word organic, what does that mean? Any of the big states, and you travel for 150 miles, and all you see is crops. The question would be is, how do you manage that? How can you manage that kind of quantity? The answer is really quite simple. You got to be using something. You got to be doing something, and you're doing it because it's a business. So therefore, who is the sufferer? Who is the consequence? It's the children, it's you, it's everybody. Because that stuff is being piled into boxes, put on a tray, and fed at cafeterias. It starts at when you're already at school. Nobody's testing these things. Nobody's looking at them. We have stamps. And here's the key. When you come to Japan, you'll see the farmers don't have 100 square miles. They got little fields. They can walk through their fields. They can see what's happening. Oh, there's a bug. Let me get it. There's a bird. Let me swat it away. You can't possibly do that. You drive through, and all you see is helicopters swooping down with stuff that's safe. It does start at the basics. You are what you eat. I'm sorry. And unfortunately, for most people, drinking and eating is what we have to do every day, and we don't have a clue. We are not looking at the labels, and we're just looking at the buzzword: GMO, non-GMO, okay, organic, vegan, but we're not reading the label. You go through any of the stores here, and it's like a Scooby-Dooby do moment. What's in it? Nobody knows. This is going to be fundamentally the biggest killer, because as we grow as a world, I've been in manufacturing for over 3 decades. I see how things can be done, but I know that in a lot of parts of the world, it's not going to be done that. It's too time consuming. If you want to wait 2 years for a product to be made, God bless you, because these days, people don't want to do that. It's too time consuming.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of Japan, that people are willing to spend their life to make good products. I've worked a lot in both industries, and I understand both ways. If you take it the wrong way and say, don't take Western medicine, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, before you jump on that ship and you start listening to a bunch of people that tell you do this, do that, most of them have never been to a farm. Most of them have never been in manufacturing. They've read books. They're going by technical stuff. They're writing out prescriptions, and that's necessary. I get that. But there's got to be more than just, here's a prescription. There's got to be, well, let's go back. And there's a lot of gurus out there. I know that. And they preach about longevity and they preach about that, but they've never been to a farm.
Say honestly, from a marketing perspective, what you just said and this conversation is so valuable. Like, even what I'm saying right, not that you have to put me in there, but I'm saying, like, people don't understand, like, we need to show America that there's something that we've been missing and messing up. And like, it's great. I love the script, but I'm saying this conversation is so valuable for people to see us really talking about it, you know, like having these conversations are real. And I didn't even know about it. I started looking into stuff, right? I do know that my body's making changes in a good way.
If we continue in that direction, I'm sorry to tell you, but the kids, the grandchildren, they're not going to have much future. Zero. It ain't going to be the sun that kills them. And it's not going to be the hurricanes that kill them. It's going to be the stuff they put in their food. Every day you got to go through this. Remember, the switches, the dark room, it's getting darker for you. You have to be an evil scientist not to feed somebody real bread, real milk. You know what I mean? Real vegetables, not the stuff that's going to be thrown away and frozen, that's on the verge of spoiling. And you're feeding it to the kids, and then you're going, well, I don't know why they can't even pass their SAT scores. If you're poisoning these kids at an early age, their brain is not going to make it. If you feed people that kind of stuff all day long, they're not going to feel good.
I did have a question really quick, and
Sure.
I'd love to hear from Sierra
Absolutely.
about her passion about the food. But I had a question around menopause, because my breast cancer was hormone positive. I'm postmenopausal at age 42, medically postmenopausal. Being postmenopausal, I'm asked questions a lot from my perimenopausal friends or other women that are in active menopause, and they want to know how Koso Super Drink might help them with menopause symptoms.
Are you talking from a hormonal point of view, a mental point of view, or just an overall? Because it's very different.
Yeah, so I would say some of the most common symptoms that women complain about, obviously being tired, mood swings, bodily changes, right? Vaginal atrophy.
Well, yeah,
those kind of things, hot flashes, those kind of things.
Women go through tragedy, I consider it, from, childbirth all the way to menopause. I don't think men could do it, but that's a separate subject altogether. Well, I mean, we get a cut on our fingers and it's like a big deal. Where's the cast?
It is a big deal, Zach.
Yeah. I'll say it in a way that you will relate to it really quick, okay?
Yeah.
Hormonal issues are based on the fact that there's an imbalance, whether it's estrogen or whether it's other issues in your body. You cannot fix that 100%, but a lot of that is a result of the light switches being turned off. They're not working anymore. When you take, especially not only the drink, we have a product called Bio 88, which is our number one selling product. It will help to ignite some of the hormones that have been, and it's done that way through what we call amino acids. Amino acids are the things that turn on those switches. We have one of the highest levels of amino acids of any product in the world, because remember, it's alive. And amino acids are something you could probably get if you could go to the store and get an apple that was not fumigated, but you can't. So a lot of the stuff that you're going through right now is food related, not just because of your imbalance, it's food related. And you can go on a special diet if you could do it, but you could also take Bio 88, and what will happen is it's not going to fix maybe your hot flashes, but it will definitely improve your overall well-being. And remember, a healthy gut is a healthy mind. It's related. If you're not feeling well because your mental is also not working well, there's a direct connection between the two. So if you fix one, the other follows. So I don't know if I answered it as a cure for all, because we don't cure things, we aid things. Definitely from what I've seen, both in my own world and in other people's world, is I've seen a lot of changes, and all of them have been very positive. In rare cases, I've even seen some rejuvenation things, where people that had natural state of issues have come back, because as I said, when you turn those switches back on, with us, it's going to be a very gradual, sometimes it's going to be immediate, but I got to get you have to get yourself yourself to a point where you feel good health-wise. And guess what's going to happen? The body speaks for itself. There's no way for you to get around this. You got to take care of yourself. The biggest investment that you can make, forget our company, the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. This is mental, which is related to the gut. And the gut is something that tells you everything. If you're not feeling well, your gut's not feeling well, you're not digesting well, you're not going to the bathroom well, you're not sleeping well, then all of that happens. And you have reason to be like that. I get it. You went through a trauma. I get it. Unfortunately, and it shouldn't have been like that, but unfortunately, until the world changes and these doctors decide that it's not all about them and it's about their customers, it's not going to change. Let's let the other ladies.
Oh, listen, wind me up and let me go. So
let's go. We're ready.
For me, I guess Karen kind of saw that product and was like, oh, this is right up Sierra's alley. And I have a fascination with the food and how it works. And we've eliminated a lot of things in our household the last few years as I've kind of learned about what's in our food and how our food is processed. And my first introduction to that was I studied abroad when I was in college and I lived in Italy, and instantly I knew the food was different. Every day I didn't have a stomach ache. And that was, I'd like to say yesterday, but it was 20-some years ago. And I noticed a difference then. And it's just gotten worse since. And I started taking the Super Drink and immediately loved it. Obviously more regular, things like that ladies don't love to talk about. But we ran out last week because my family of 4 is obsessed with the Super Drink. My teenage boy loves it. My 12-year-old loves it. But my husband also just had a medical scare. But we ran out because we go through a bag a week. There's 4 of us. That's a month. It's like, it just churns. 30 days, 4 people. And I noticed I've been a migraine sufferer since I was 11. And I've actually noticed this last week. My migraines have increased significantly and I've not had it for about a week now. It should be arriving again tomorrow. It's like, wow, I hadn't noticed that. And my migraines are an issue. They are absolutely debilitating. And I told Karen, one of my biggest concerns when I started taking it was I have a problem with anything fermented. Alcohol, pickled, anything high fermentation, the tyramine impacts me and will trigger a migraine very quick. So I told her, and I was very honest. I said, Karen, I'm going to tell you, here's my biggest concern. She was like, okay, well, let me know. And I said, I've had no issues. In fact, I've seen an improvement, which is fantastic. So I don't know the difference in it, but I can tell you in just listening, it's clearly the process. It's clearly the process. It's how pure it is. It's how absorbable everything is. It's turning the right switches on and not affecting the negatives. My husband as well, I got him to start taking it. One, it tastes fantastic. So it's not hard to convince anybody to take or try. He had a rupture in his colon, but it was one of the only things, and we mixed it with water in order to just have it be more, because dairy out here is obviously, we needed something very simple for him, but we needed nutrients. We needed good stuff in his guts. That was what started it for him. He was like, it's the only thing that I can get in, keep in, feel good. And he got rest once he would take it, even with the water. And that's been a huge game changer for us. So it's really something we've noticed in all of our walks of life, teenagers, 12 to my husband's, but it's really impacted all of us in different ways. My son, my 14-year-old, notices it in his skin. It's just been a real very positive thing for me to be able to introduce to my family because I'm usually the one taking stuff away. I take the dyes out of our diet. I don't, no dyes come in foods. We don't do seed oils. Like there's so much that I'm constantly taking away. This was a beautiful thing for me to introduce and have them all enjoy and love and then see the impact so quickly. So for me, that was easy, wonderful, fun, great, benefits for all. Loved it.
I'm quite happy for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Really, one last thing I would like to just teach all of you about fermentation is that kimchi and kombucha and all of those are not fermentation science. Those are kitchen fermentation. It doesn't take much. It takes a day to do. And generally speaking, even like wines and things like that, you're not really fermenting them to make it. You're adding alcohol back to it. So you're actually creating the alcohol, you're adding it to grape juice, and you've got wine, and vice versa. That's called blended Scotch whiskey. A lot of people are not familiar with the techniques. When you talk about fermentation is not good for you, a lot of fermentation in the marketplace is salt. I don't know if salt's really good for you, if you know what I mean, or sugars and things like that. It's not the world that we're in. We're in the world of long-term fermentation using friendly bacteria, and it's very different. And that's why you have not been affected by it, and it's helping you with your migraines. Because one of the, I guess it would be just another asset of taking our products is just having better blood count, having better circulatory issues. People that are, we call it sluggish blood, basically. As you cleanse, as you move, as all of those things take place, you start to get other benefits. There's a lot. And I can tell you stories after stories after stories of pets that had ulcers or they had more bad sores where people would feed them our products. Because pets are babies now. That's for sure. Let's not, they're the new babies of our generation. Please don't misunderstand fermentation. There's a lot to it.
As everyone was talking, and I'm like, it's like strange to talk about, but I actually even canceled a surgery I was scheduled to have today, which is so ironic, because of the fact that I wasn't going to the bathroom regularly. It caused some other issues and some things that I had to have removed, and they were going to do it right away. And when I went to the doctor, he said, wait, you sent me pictures like this. How is it so much better? What are you doing different? Which was interesting because I was drinking the Super Drink. And he said, well, we're not in a rush. Let's just schedule it for November 4th. And I decided this morning, I said, why? Let's just cancel it right now because I feel fine. I'm almost still like, how is this possible? Because I've been living with this for almost as long as I can remember, and I'm 48 years old. I've struggled with going to the bathroom. I just can't believe what a difference. My husband said, where was everything before? Like, I don't know, you're always going to, but I feel lighter. I feel more energy. I mean, I really feel, and it's just a short amount of time. And I'm very, very excited to continue this journey. I'm really blown away.
I have good news for you. It's only going to get better.
But we want to present something, like you said, that 30 years from now, people have made a decision that made a good impact on their life and they remember it, right?
We all want a Nintendo boy.
Yeah. We all want a Nintendo boy. That's
story, a Nintendo boy story.
You will. Believe me, when you start to share this Koso dream with people and you start to see, you will. You'll start to see things. It's going to be an amazing journey for all of us, for all of you, for everybody, because I have seen so much of it. That's why I plunged into this with all of my heart, with all of my passion. I work 18 hours a day. That's my lifestyle. It's been like that, and I love it. Okay, I absolutely love it because when I see that the impact that this company, it's not me. I'm kind of like a little bit of Mick Jagger on the stage, but he's got like 700 people behind him making sure that he gets there on time. Think about it like that. Okay, I got a lot of people that are they're working. They're right now as we speak. They're getting up. They're farming. They're at the factories, and they are dedicated because that is the society. Okay, but for all of us moving forward, the one scoop a day that keeps the doctor away is only one part of this whole thing. Remember that there's other things that can motivate you and help you other than this one particular product. And we'll get into that a little bit later. I do want the kids to benefit. It's been very difficult for me as a scientist to introduce health products to kids because they go, oh, Mommy, it doesn't taste well. Well, yeah, I know it doesn't taste well. But with this protein drink, this is the change. You have the kids, if you can get the kids to like it, you're going to get the whole family to like it, including some of the other outside neighbors that come in occasionally to do things. I'm very
Dr.
happy.
Z, you're gonna be so happy. I can't wait till we talk again because we got some ideas too on that.
All right. And so I get that question all the time. Why Japan? Well, I'm telling you why Japan. You can't do it other places. Other places don't want to do it that way. That's why we deliver from Japan. People ask me that all the time. Why don't we deliver from the United States? Because I want the package to be delivered to your door in a clean box without a footprint on it and not in storage for 3 weeks while they figure out where you live and what happens. I want it's coming directly from our place, directly to your door. That's what we do in Japan. And I wanted all of you to witness that firsthand to see that.
Well, after hearing all the stories, I'm very delighted. And thank you to our guests for sharing their amazing journeys. And a huge thank you to Dr. Z for giving us such incredible insights into how fermentation can improve our health. To our audience, if you haven't tried Koso Super Drink yet, now's the time. And it's the perfect way to boost your energy, improve your digestion, and support overall wellness.
Well, I really want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. KosoMed wants to thank you from their bottom of their heart. And like I say, a scoop a day will keep the doctor away. But keep in mind one thing, transformation is hard, but You're in control. You can do it. Believe me, you can. It's not that complicated, because after all, if you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you. For all of our listeners, I thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning in to Koso Konnections. Be sure to check out the Koso Super Drink and feel the difference for yourself. See you all next time.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.